Hi guys, well, I wanted to tell you that I am taking my braids out. So I'm going back to like the afro, and here's kind of like a mess right now because I'm in between two different things. Here are the braids and here's my hair loose. And so I decided, since I'm taking the braids out, I would answer some questions I usually get from people when they see my hair in these little tiny braids. So it's like most frequently asked questions. Alright, so the first question that I usually get is, how long does it take to put all those tiny little braids in? It takes about maybe 2 weeks for me to put them in. Because usually what ends up happening is I'll put them in once and they're a little bit bigger than I like, so I'll go back through and make them all smaller. And I think if I had originally made them the size that they were supposed to be, it would probably take about 2 weeks. And that's not me just sitting down all day. That's like after work, in the afternoon, just braiding. So that's about 2 weeks. And it'll probably be, closer to a week if, sorry, I was just eating lunch. It'll probably be closer to a week if I had been not working. The next question I usually get is, how do you have the patience to do that? And really, it doesn't take that much patience. Well, I guess I am a special ed teacher, so I probably do have a lot of patience. But what I usually do is I just do it while I'm watching TV in the afternoon or in the evening, like after I eat my lunch or my dinner or whatever. And I'll just sit and I'll just braid. That's all I do. Just sit and braid. And keeping my hands busy makes me not eat. So after I eat dinner, I don't have to snack because I'm constantly just sitting here braiding. And I didn't add this question in, but I wanted to tell you how I maintain it. Is I go through, and in the evenings I just feel for which braids have like really long roots. I don't know if you can see that, but like they'll have like long roots, and those are usually the ones that I'll just go through and rebraid. I just like them to look fresh, and usually I do the ones around the edges more, which isn't good for my hairline, which is part of the reason why I'm taking them out. Let's see. The next question I usually get is, did you do it yourself? Well, usually they ask, usually people ask, who did that for you? And it's me. I do all of it. And, well, the way I started out is that my mother used to braid my hair, and she would put it in beads, and they're a little bit bigger than this, but they would stay in there for about 4 months. And then she'd take them out, wash them, and then put them back in braids again, because that's just the way that my hair grew. If it's out, I have to comb it all the time, and it's not easy to comb, it's not easy to take care of. The braids make it easier, which now is making me rethink whether or not I want to take it out, but I do want it to be out. And the other question I usually get is it all your hair? And it is all my hair. Thankfully, Mommy didn't let me perm my hair until I was really, really old, so I never got to perm it. Like, I've never had a perm my entire life. So all of it's my natural hair. All of it's mine. I have had fake hair added in a couple of times. I just don't like the way it looks, and I've heard that it dries out your hair, and I don't know. I have a lot of hair on my own. I like to show it off, so it is all my hair, and I was going to take one out. Well, actually, that's the next question, is how do you take them out? It's also the way I put them in. I have to use this comb. It's I think it's called a rat tail, but I usually use a metal tip. One, because they're a lot smaller than the plastic tip one. The plastic tip ones can't get into my tiny braids. But if your braids are bigger, sure, you can use the plastic tip. And the way that I decide what size to make them, I basically make them as small as I can to where I can still get them out with this. And when you first braid it, it's going to be difficult to get it out with this. But once it like has time to settle and it's not as tight as when you first braid it, it will be easier to take out with this. So that's how I decide how small to make them. And I usually call the size like crazy small because it is pretty darn small. So this section is this is like my transition style. It's just as best as I could get. But this section is still in the teeny tiny inchy wenchy braids. And there's also, the front is still twisted in little twists because I was trying to help my hairline. I have like dry scalp up here and it drives me nuts. And it also is constantly pulling up there. That part is one braid that I've already taken out. It's natural hair. So I will just show you. And see, I've been trying to go in parts. See, over here is natural hair. Over here is braided hair. So I try to make it pretty straight. Let me see if I can find a ponytail holder. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I have a ponytail holder. So I'm just going to secure the hair out of my way. And I found the braids for you so I could do it. Yep. And see, that's that new growth that I was talking about, like the roots. Basically, when it gets so long that I get annoyed by it, that's when I start rebraiding it. So I'm just going to rebraid this one so I can show you how I rebraid it, how I unbraid it, and how I put it back in. So what I do is I just stick the comb in. I don't go up too far on the braid. I just do it just enough so that I can get it loose. I'm going to take my glasses off because I hate the way I look when I look over them. I look like an old person or something. But yeah, I just stick it in and just, I'm trying to show you. Stick it in. And just pull it loose. And sometimes you kind of have to separate the sections with your hands. But yeah, this is the annoying part. And this is when I usually start regretting how tiny I made the braids. So I'm just going to keep doing this and I will pause it and come back when I get near the end. Okay. Alright, I'm back. I'm getting right near the end. Here's all the hair that I took loose. And I just wanted to show you, like as you work your way up, you'll have to take it loose with your hand a little bit more because the ends just get all tangled in each other. I'm right at the tip of it. And sometimes when in the back of my head, the braid, like the top of it will be, it'll have like a lot of dirt and dust and grease and stuff in it. So I have to, what I usually do is I have to break apart this root part. And I just do that with my fingers and I just pull out the shed hair. That's just the hair that over time, hair just naturally sheds from your scalp. And so nothing's wrong with it. It's just what comes out. And so that's my hair. And what I usually do, this is about the size of the section I get. I don't know if you can really see it. I usually try to do it in straight parts going this way so that I can wear parts anywhere in my hair. I usually do that through cornrows. Like that's one of the transition styles when I'm putting braids in. I will do cornrows straight back. And so that gives me my automatic parts where I want them to be. And I'll just braid cornrow by cornrow and I'll braid it back once, or I'll just cornrow it back in once I've done all the braids in that section. And it's an easy way to hide natural like hair that's loose from hair that's braided. There is a braid right here. That's interesting. Actually, it's not a braid, it's a twist. Nope, it's a braid. Okay. Oh, that's just my mole. In case you guys were freaking out about it. Alright, so this is how I braid it back. I take this hair and I separate it into 3 sections. Hold the first section between my pointer finger and thumb, second section between my pointer finger and middle finger, and the third section just in the other hand. And so I'm going to, well, I cross under. Yeah, I cross under. I move the outsides to the center. I have to move, to pull the hair down or untangle it. So I move the outside strands to the very center. Move the outside strands to the center. And you just keep doing that and work your way down. So I take what's on the outside and move it to the center. I take what's on the outside and move this one over and move it to the center. Take what's on the outside and move it over into the center, pull through. Take what's on the outside, move to the center, pull through. And you just keep doing that over and over again. Eventually you get really good at it, to where you can do it pretty fast. And I just got a little too fast. But yeah, just keep going all the way down. Yeah, let me answer some of the other questions. Another transition style I do is ponytails, like I did today. Well, it was more of a bun, to try to hide the hair that's braided from the hair that's not braided. And how long do I leave them in for? So, I had braids at one point that I left in for 2 years. What I would do to kind of maintain it is do this rebraiding thing, and I would also wash it, and I never let it lock up, because I constantly went through and rebraided them. But yeah, I would wash it with the braids in it. I'd take care of it just like it, as if it were loose. And I kept them in for 2 years, and they grew pretty long. I think I had about 3.5 to 4 inches of growth over those 2 years. This last time I left them in for about, I would say 6 months. But I usually leave them in for a pretty long time, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of work to put them all in. And I usually am pretty annoyed when I have to take them out. Like now, I am almost halfway over and I'm regretting the decision of having taken them out. But I just get tired of them, so that's usually when I take them out. But yeah, that's how long I leave them in for. My hair texture can handle it, because it's a pretty kinky hair texture, so it can hold the braids for longer without turning into locks. Other hair textures, where the curl is a looser pattern, it might not be able to do that. As I get to the end, I just kind of leave it, but see, if you wet it, it'll curl up. It's already kind of curling up a little bit. But usually when I wet my hair, it'll curl up on the ends, and it does like this really pretty thing that I like, where they'll turn into little corkscrews, like that one. That's the end of one of the braids. So yeah, I do usually braid as far as I can to the end, but not all the way. And I also trim them when they're in braids as well. So after I braid it, I'll go through and just trim off maybe 1 centimeter every 8 weeks. So yeah, that's how you put them back in, and when you braid it, the root's all fresh and it looks better. I think I answered all the questions. So yeah, now I'm just going through and I'm taking them all out. You know, it's kind of counterproductive having just braided that braid back in there, and it'll probably be very difficult to get out, but whatever. So I will show you guys later when I get them all out. Hopefully I'm not annoyed. So thank you for watching. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comment box. Yeah. Hope you enjoy. Bye.